Oh, hello. What is happening? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome home. This is my house. This is my little sister, Emily. She's helping me film. Today, we're in my kitchen. We are making Canada Goose breakfast sausage. This lighting is horrible. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to deal with that. The lighting solutions are on their way. We're making Canada Goose sausage. In the last video, you saw my buddy Jamie and I out hunting. You saw us not kill any geese, but we did kill some geese the week before that. We have some Canada Goose meat here, still pretty frozen. Don't worry about that. That is a good thing. We're gonna need that when we make sausage. We're gonna go through the whole process. We're gonna make some sausage. We're gonna cook it. Emmy is gonna taste it. Emmy, have you ever had any Canada Goose before, ever?
Nope.
What is your relationship with Canada geese?
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Why?
Because there's one that haunted me last February and woke me up every morning at 6 a.m. Because it had a nest or something on top of my building.
Does it make you feel better that at least we killed a couple?
Yeah.
Makes me feel better too, because I hadn't killed any ever. So we killed a few. So we're gonna get to it. This is chocolate milk. So in the last video, I said that I'm not an expert in everything outdoors. I probably gave myself a little bit less credit than I'm owed. I'm actually better at more things than I give myself credit for. Especially in the kitchen. Now, I worked in restaurants for a long time. I don't work in restaurants anymore. I actually work for a company that supplies food to restaurants, but I worked in restaurants for a long time. I've eaten a lot of food. Obvious. Now, sausage making is something that goes hand in hand with being in the outdoors. If you're gonna hunt, get good at making sausage. It's an easy way to go through meat. If you don't want to eat steaks all the time, which why wouldn't you? But if you don't want to, it's a great way to get rid of cuts of meat that you're not really sure what to do with. It's a great way to utilize an animal across many meals over the course of the year. You're gonna need a few pieces of equipment though. The main one is a meat grinder. You're gonna need a meat grinder no matter what you do. You're gonna see another piece of equipment today, which is a sausage stuffer, which you don't necessarily need. You can grind sausage and put it directly into patties. Great, use it right away. We're gonna make, I have about 9 pounds of meat today that we're gonna grind. You don't need to do that much. You can just do it a few pieces at a time, put it in the fridge. If you don't have a stuffer, wrap it in plastic wrap, throw it in the freezer, and you're in good shape.
So approximately how much sausage are we gonna get from this today?
We have 9 pounds of lean. We're doing a 70-30 mix-ish. I had 2 pounds of pork fatback ready. I like to use a 70-30 mix for sausage. I like to use like it's like an 80-20 when I'm grinding burger. 70-30 for sausage because I like a little bit juicier. This goose meat was really, really lean. The birds were fatty, but there is no intermuscular fat. So we're gonna do 2 pounds of fat. I'm gonna add some bacon. I have my feelings about bacon when it comes to wild game. I think it's a little overutilized, but it's breakfast sausage. You have to have some bacon. So we're gonna do 2 pounds of bacon, 2 pounds of pork fat, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 13 pounds all day. If you're working in your kitchen, and this isn't a cooking channel, this isn't just a hunting channel, this is just my life and me. But take some advice. If you're working in your kitchen and your knife is not sharp, you are a stupid person and you need a professional help, okay? A sharp knife is not dangerous. People are afraid of sharp knives. A dull knife is dangerous.
So, Nico,
Yeah.
what kind of sausage are we making?
So we're gonna make a breakfast sausage, but the kind of breakfast sausage that I want to make out of these Canadas is a breakfast sausage that I actually like to make out of venison, elk. It's highly versatile. If you've ever seen Canada Goose meat, which I hadn't shot any till the other day, but I've eaten it before, I've worked with it before. It's a lot like venison. You can do it with hog. So there's one breakfast sausage recipe that I like. I use it for all of those, and that's the one we're gonna do with this one. It's sage, salt, pepper, a little bit of brown sugar, thyme, red pepper flakes, but instead of the red pepper flakes, my buddy Jamie, who you saw in the last video, he actually grows habaneros and jalapenos at his house. He dries them out. He's like a urban homesteader type guy. Aren't you, Jamie? And he makes a really nice dried pepper mix, makes hot sauce as well. We're gonna use his peppers in here, which make for great sausage. This is still pretty frozen. Normally, I would never work with meat when it's still this frozen, but when I'm making sausage, I want it to be this frozen because you want to work with the meat as cold, and the fat especially, as cold as possible. You kind of want your hands to ache because as the fat warms up, it'll start to smear in the grinder, and that's bad. This is almost perfect. I pulled this out maybe 2 hours ago, and you'll see it's pretty frozen together. I cubed it up when I cleaned it, and you'll see, I mean, it's pretty frozen, but I can still work it with the knife. So if, as you're working, and your meat starts to warm up or your fat starts to warm up, take a break, pop it in the freezer for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, let it get cold again. Don't be afraid to work with meat that's a little bit frozen like this. Y'all, just so you know, my sister used to be vegetarian for a little while. I asked her to get the bacon out of the freezer. She grabbed a pork steak. It's bacon. Bacon, not a pork steak.
Pretty close.
Not even close at all.
I didn't even know that it was pork.
Pork back fat. We got 2 pounds of that. 2 pounds of bacon. You guys all know what bacon is. At least I think you do. You should. Emily might not. We're gonna chop that up, get that all together, and we're gonna get to grinding. All right, we're gonna put our seasonings in the meat now, before we put our meat in the grinder. Now, before we put our grinder parts on the machine, a good tip and something that you should absolutely do is keep your grinder attachments in the freezer to keep them as cold as possible before you put them on. They don't need to be on the machine, sitting out, getting warm. Again, friction, heat, bad for your sausage. In other times in life, you want your sausage to have friction. Not right now. So, what we're gonna use today, again, very basic, but quite delicious. Fresh herbs, although I don't have fresh thyme, but we are gonna use fresh sage. Fresh sage, thyme, brown sugar, salt, black pepper, ground clove, garlic, brown sugar, salt. Now, cooking and sausage making is an art. Baking is science. If you want to add a little bit more, add a little bit more. I'm going to have my measurements that I did for here in, it'll be in this video or it'll be in the link in the description below. If you want to do this, go ahead and follow along. But if you feel like you need to add a little bit more or a little bit less, do it to your taste. Go ahead, do whatever you want. It's cooking. It's the kitchen. Go ahead, make mistakes. It's your thing. It's sausage making. It's supposed to be fun. I am an eyeballer in the kitchen. I don't really like recipes. I just do what feels good to me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's how you learn. Let's get to grinding. the speed of your grinder. You don't want to overload it. You don't want to go too slow either, because you have to remember the time is of the essence, because you don't want your meat to get too warm. So you have to find that happy medium of what's too fast, what's too slow, when your grinder's too far away from your tote, like that just was, and did you cut your pieces too big for your grinder hole? Just take your time. Couple pieces of lean meat, couple pieces of fat. Remember your ratio, we did about a 70-30 here. So a few pieces of lean, a couple pieces of fat here and there, a little bit of bacon. Get through your rough grind, get your plate switched out, put in your fine plate, and do your fine grind. All right, we did one grind with our coarse plate. We're gonna go to our fine plate. I don't remember what the measurements are. It came with 2. I'm not a scientist. Don't ever over tighten that guy. We'll be in for a very bad day. Bada bing, bada boom. Realest kind of room. How you doing? Luckily, my meat's still. When you're making sausage, there isn't a joke that you can make. Come down here and get a shot of that. Look how different that looks, just right off the bat. When you're doing your second grind, it's really important that you don't overfeed the feed tube on your grinder. If you feel like the grinder's starting to bog down and get a little bit too much friction, add an ice cube. It's just getting a little warm. If you need to take a break, cool the meat down, do that. You can't rush it. You need to move at the right pace, but you just got to make sure that the meat's cold. That right there is, I mean, that's exactly what you want. This is absolutely one of my favorite things about all of what I do, hunting, fishing, outdoors, is this part. My little sister's here, and she doesn't do this. My friends come over, we do this together. Spending time with family and friends, processing game that you harvest yourself for food, for sustenance. It may sound silly to you if it's not something that you're used to, but to be connected to your food in a way that nobody else is if you just go to the grocery store. And I go to the grocery store too. I'm not saying that I don't go to the grocery store and buy food just like you do or just like anybody else does. But this is different. To me, this is important. To me, this gives me happiness. It gives my life purpose. It gives my life meaning. And to have the chance to share it with you and to share it with my family, to share it with my friends, it means everything. Okay, it's taste test time. for Emily. It is 8:23 p.m. and it's time for Emily to have a little bit of breakfast. So I'm gonna make her a couple eggs and a couple sausage patties. Let's get cooking. This is ready to go. I am putting this in the pan dry because there is a lot of bacon and fat in this sausage, so it'll render down. Worse audio, bad lighting. Welcome to my kitchen with like, it looks like the sun on the back of my head. Can you smell it though, Emmy? Can you smell it?
I'm hungry.
I wish the people could smell it. It does smell good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It looks great.
Emmy, how do you want your eggs?
I kind of want them scrambled.
Scrambled?
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs?
Scrambled eggs, please.
You wanted over medium at the last second, but...
I know.
Too late! Oh no. What with my little... Oh, there it is. My butter may have burnt a little bit. Emily's really particular about her eggs. Do you want them salted at the end or no?
Salt?
Now
Yeah,
or
that's
later?
Fine. That's fine. I'm not that particular. I just don't like them burnt.
Well, you're quite particular, actually. Oh. Come back here. I'm not like a Michelin star chef. I don't plate super high. My plates aren't like super beautiful, but I guarantee you one thing. That right there, that's good. All right, go ahead and try it.
Just by itself or with the egg?
Well, try the patty by itself first. How's it smell?
That smells good.
For real. Don't lie to me because I'm filming you.
No. For real? That's incredible.
You didn't even taste it yet. Did you? Is it good, really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it taste like? Does it only taste like bacon? Or does it taste different? Does it taste like anything else you've ever eaten before?
No.
Like similar? I mean, you've eaten deer with me. You've eaten elk. You've eaten... You just haven't eaten...
The spices on there are great. It's got a nice spice to it. It's not overly where I don't, you know, I like spice, but anything too spicy I can't really do. Dude, I don't know.
So it's a winner, yeah?
This is good. This is good. I'm glad. I thought making 3 was going to be a problem.
So how does it make you feel about Canada Geese now?
Like I've defeated them. My enemies are dead and in my belly. Let's try with the egg. No, this is
Wrigley,
insane.
you want a bite?
Oh yeah.
Wrigley, do you want a bite? Don't give her none. She's all right.
Oh.
Good? That's a success, huh?
This is so
Oh,
good. This is so good.
that makes me feel good. Well, I'm glad you like it. That is what it's all about. That makes me happy. That's all we have for this video. Check out that buck right there. Where's he at? Look at that buck. That is my first buck ever. He's decent. He's not the biggest buck in the world, but he is a good buck. If you stick around and hang out on this channel, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a lot of me living my life, hanging out with my friends and my family. This is what we do. Like I said in the last video, it's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. This is what I love to do. I work a full-time job. It's, what, 8:30 right now? I worked all day. I came home. Emmy came over. We filmed all night. We made sausage, we cooked. But this is what it's all about. This is how I like to spend my free time, and now I want to share it with you. There's gonna be a lot more content like this coming. Fishing season is coming. The coho are in Lake Michigan. We're gonna be trolling for coho. The perch are in. We're gonna be fishing perch, catch, clean, and cook some perch and coho. If you have anything that you wanna see me do, if you have any ideas, please let me know. Drop a comment below. But in the meantime, drop a like, please subscribe, please leave a positive comment below. Thank you very much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.